We're diving into the history of YouTube today. Got a ton of interesting stuff here. Wikipedia entries, video essays. You clearly did your homework on this one.
Yeah, it's kind of become a bit of an obsession, honestly. There's just something about YouTube's story, how this platform that's so, I don't know, ubiquitous now. It started with a totally different purpose.
Well, and it's easy to forget, right? Like, going back to the early 2000s, finding a video online, let alone sharing one, was a completely different story.
Oh, totally. It sounds crazy now, but back then, internet speeds were like a joke compared to what we have. I mean, videos were huge files. Uploading took forever. Streaming, forget it.
It's true. So many of those early video sharing sites really struggled, which I think makes YouTube's success even more, I don't know.
Surprising.
Yeah, especially when you consider that it almost didn't happen.
Exactly. And there's so much we still don't know about those early days. Like, we've all heard the story about the dinner party, the founders wanting to share videos of their cats.
And who could forget me at the zoo, that grainy first YouTube video. Classic.
Right. But the actual story might be a little different. Jawed Karim, one of the co-founders, he's disputed that whole dinner party thing.
No way. Really?
Yeah. It's actually become kind of a mystery in the tech world.
Huh. Well, whatever sparked the idea, the original concept for YouTube was a far cry from what we know today.
Oh, yeah. They were actually trying to create a video dating site.
Wow, a dating site? Imagine that alternate universe for a second.
Right. Were they inspired by those early social networking sites, you think?
Well, actually, they've said they were inspired by Hot or Not. Remember that?
Oh, man. Hot or Not, that takes me back. Rating people's pictures.
Exactly. So their idea was to use short videos instead of pictures for profiles.
Wild. Would we be swiping left and right on video profiles today?
Crazy.
It's a whole different world, that's for sure. But thankfully for us, that idea didn't pan out. So how did they go from online dating to, well, YouTube?
It was a perfect storm of factors, honestly. For one, they were smart about the tech. They embraced Adobe Flash, and at the time, that was a game changer.
Right, because it made the files smaller.
Exactly. Way smaller, so uploads were faster, playback was smoother. It just made the whole experience more user-friendly compared to those other sites using older, clunkier formats.
It's amazing how important those loading times were back then. If a video took too long to buffer, forget it. People would just move on. Oh, totally. You couldn't have predicted the timing. It was perfect. Broadband was becoming more accessible. Social media was just getting started.
People were craving new ways to connect.
Exactly. And YouTube was there at the right moment with the right idea.
Like that Malcolm Gladwell outliers concept.
Yes, 100%.
Uh-huh.
But even with all of that, they needed the resources to support it. And that's where venture capital comes in.
Ah.
Sequoia Capital, a big player in Silicon Valley, they saw the potential early on and invested heavily.
Yeah.
And that funding, it was crucial.
To handle all those users?
Exactly. They had to scale up their servers, improve the infrastructure, all of that. They were smart to jump on that.
And the rest is, as they say, history. But I think what's really fascinating here is that even with all the tech, the timing, the money, what really set YouTube apart was its community.
It really took off, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
YouTube became this whole thing, and so fast. But it's more than just, ones and zeros in the background, right?
Right.
The real magic happened when it became, I don't know, less about just storing videos somewhere and more about
the people.
The people.
Yeah.
Making them, watching them, finding each other asterisk because asterisk of them. We're talking about the birth of the YouTuber as we know it.
Totally. And some of those early creators, they were crucial. Yeah. Showed everyone what was possible with this whole YouTube thing.
Like those first viral sensations. It's wild to think back on them.
Oh, absolutely. Like, remember Smosh?
Oh, man, those guys.
Just two friends messing around, making those lip sync videos in their bedrooms.
And it totally resonated, especially with younger viewers. They were like the pioneers of online sketch comedy, right?
Yeah.
Proving you didn't need a network, you didn't need all that to find an audience.
Yeah. They built their own thing, a direct line to those viewers.
Totally. And it wasn't just comedy either. Remember Geriatric 1927?
Oh, how could you forget?
Who would have thought that this, charming older gentleman sharing stories online,
Peter Oakley, he was great.
Yes, would become this huge hit.
It really challenged how people saw, I don't know, age and technology, right?
Right. Like, you can be online, you can connect no matter how old you are.
And it showed the potential of the internet in a way. Maybe we wouldn't have seen it the same way without voices like that early on.
Totally agree. And we can't forget the women who were there at the beginning, too.
Absolutely.
Paving the way.
Like Lisa Nova.
Oh, yeah. She was amazing.
So creative, so funny.
With those characters and the sketches.
She brought something special to YouTube for sure. And I feel like, she helped so many other creators, especially women, find their own voice on the platform.
100%. It's amazing to think about, right? Back then, these creators who, might not have had a chance on TV or whatever, YouTube gave them this global stage.
It was revolutionary in a way.
Totally. But it wasn't just a one-way thing, though, was it?
What do you mean?
I mean, YouTube gave them a platform, sure. But they, in turn, they changed what YouTube asterisk was asterisk. Pushing boundaries, experimenting.
A two-way street.
Exactly. YouTubers, they weren't just making content, they were building communities around their passions.
It became about more than just the videos themselves.
Yes. And YouTube, to their credit, they recognized that shift. And that's when we saw the move from those basic user profiles to dedicated channels.
Interesting.
That might seem like a small thing, design-wise, but it actually said a lot about how they saw the platform changing. They were leaning into this creator-centric model.
Giving those voices even more, I don't know.
Power.
Yeah. Power, reach.
And influence.
Exactly. But of course, becoming this global phenomenon, it wasn't all smooth sailing for YouTube. YouTube really has become this force, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
From those early days, almost accidental, to this cultural powerhouse.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, but with any success story, right, there's always
another side.
Another side to the story. We talked about the good stuff, the early days, the creators, all that, but YouTube's had its share of controversies,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
One of the biggest turning points has to be the apocalypse, right?
Yeah, the apocalypse, it was huge.
Remember when all those big advertisers pulled out? Because their ads were showing up on,
Oh, yeah. With some of the more,
questionable content.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a whole thing. It was all over the news.
Creators were freaking out. Advertisers were panicking.
And YouTube was stuck in the middle.
Totally. And it wasn't just about offensive content either. Right?
Not that at all. You had copyright issues, people saying YouTube was censoring them.
It raised all these questions about how they were handling things, their role.
As a platform, yeah. I mean, are they responsible for all this content?
It's a big responsibility, curating all that stuff.
Huge. And then you had the whole PewDiePie thing on top of that.
Oh, right. Yeah. With the Wall Street Journal article and the accusation.
Exactly. It sparked this huge debate, right? About free speech and...
Where do you draw the line? What's too far?
Right. Responsible content, all of that. It really forced YouTube to evolve, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, they had to, right?
They had to. They started being way more strict with the rules, the algorithms.
Even brought in more people to review stuff.
Yeah, like actual human beings to keep an eye on things. It's a tough balance, though.
Oh, it totally is.
Trying to give people freedom, but also...
protecting everyone.
Yeah, the users, the advertisers, it's ongoing.
It's always evolving, which is, I guess, the story of the internet in a way.
It really is. But, for all the challenges, all the drama...
You can't argue with the impact.
We can't. It's amazing. When you think about it, YouTube gave everyone a voice.
Anyone with a camera, basically.
Right. Suddenly you didn't need a studio, you didn't need permission from, some executive. You could just create...
And potentially reach millions of people.
Millions. Build a community, make a living. It's incredible.
It's changed everything.
It has. How we watch videos, how we think about entertainment, even how we learn.
You can find anything on there now.
Seriously. Educational stuff that rivals, actual college courses.
It's mind-blowing, and it's all because of this, perfect storm we've been talking about.
The technology, the community, the timing.
And YouTube's willingness to,
adapt.
Exactly.
To keep changing with the times.
So as you're going through all those sources, learning all about YouTube's history.
Yeah.
Think about this. How has it changed asterisk, your asterisk life?
Ooh, good question.
Has it changed how you learn, how you entertain yourself, how you connect with the world? Because ultimately, YouTube's story is our story, right?
Totally. We're all part of it.
We are. It really makes you think about where it's all going next, doesn't it?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for YouTube? Guess we'll have to wait and see.